What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of my HLTV Fantasy. Today we have the ESL Challenger February 2022 event starting in just a day. I want to quickly just say that I will make a video on Malta vibes, of course, but for now I'm just kind of waiting it out and seeing which teams make it through the first stage, if they're going to add some of the teams into the second stage, as well as if we get to know the seeding of the stage 2 before the fantasy starts, so I don't have teams from the same side of the bracket, which is of course extremely important in Malta vibes. But yeah, this event, only 8 teams, 2 brackets, in 2 teams out of each team, each group made through to the playoffs. I think VP is of course the biggest favorite in this one, and then Furia is probably one of the favorites, and then there's a couple other teams. Definitely a few interesting teams here. These are the most picked players so far. Jaime and Yakindar make a ton of sense. I mean, they're the best players from the best team. Like, I'd say by far the best team. And they're not too expensive. Like, you can make a lineup with both of them. I might take a look at that as well. Grim, popular pick because he's pretty cheap still. The role he had in Liquid was very different from the one he has in Complexity now. He should be able to get better stats here, but we'll have to see if that potential gets fulfilled or not. Then some Furia guys. Art makes ton of sense again. Second cheapest guy, insane entry percentage, still great stats. Makes sense, yes. You could make a case for going double Furia. And then I have Kiekert, Freiberg. Kiekert, just in case you don't want to go for the 2 of them, and then Freiberg, I guess, because he's just a cheap guy and makes some Jaime Yakindar, for example, lineups quite valid. The groups makes it pretty easy again. Like, we should probably pick from 2 different groups, and if we pick the 2 teams that win their groups, they have the chance to meet in the grand finals, which would be ideal. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. I think VP makes the most sense. I always want to go VP. Jaime and Yakindar, I think both. Let's try and make it both Yakindar and Jaime lineup. The second group is way more interesting in my opinion in terms of who's gonna win. I think it could be all of Furia, Colo, or Heat. Order is definitely the underdog going into this group, and I wouldn't have too high expectations for them. I don't think I want to have too much faith in Complexity here. But to me, it's between Furia and Heat. I mean, Heat's been pretty much on the rise lately. So I think if I go Heat, I probably have to go Exercise. Unless I want to go for, like, one of the super cheap guys. I don't think I want to do that. $179 left. Get a Grim or get a Lucan. Oh yeah, I can check this out because it's always, this is a small tip, when there's a player like this, when a player like this comes up who has no stats, basically no stats for the last, I believe it's 6 months that this shows, always go and take a look at the player, because this is, I don't actually know who Lucan is. I haven't heard of him before, but this is pretty impressive, right? You go all-time stats, 1.16, great. Then you look at this, because it's important to see if this is like he's been farming the lower tier, or if he's actually doing fine against better opposition as well. I think he's doing pretty well across the board. I don't know how he has 1.16 rating. I guess he's just farming like below top 50 opponents then, mostly. But then he doesn't like have a huge drop off either when it comes to better opponents. But of course the caveat here is that he didn't play in 2021. did play in 2020 though for Sharks. So he's been on a bit of a break. I have no idea. I've never seen him play. This is not very. This doesn't look very good. I kind of looked at his stats beforehand. This is way better. So maybe he's just like, it's interesting because he's not like super old either. It's not like an old player who's maybe going for a bit of a comeback story. No. But it's an interesting option, honestly, for this one because he's 179. He would perfectly fit here. So it's a lot riskier than, let's say, complexity. Or a lot riskier than Grim. I think Grim is so tough for me to evaluate right now because, I mean, the first event they played was really high tier. Like, I think it's more comparable to this FunSpark ulti performance where, like, the tier of opposition. I guess they played in Gambit here. I probably would rather go Grim than Lucan, but I think it's good to point out that Lucan is kind of an option here. I'll take a look at like a Furia lineup as well. I think Art should make it into a Furia lineup. If you go Art Yuri, you can't go Art Yuri and Jane Yakindar. Can't go Caserado. Safe is probably not. I don't want to go drop either. I'm probably not going Furia. I mean, when we look at like recent results for Furia, not looking too hot. Getting 2-0'd by Wisla Krakow. Not good. Of course, it was just Pinnacle Winter Series. Maybe they make a bit of a comeback here, but we'll have to see. I think I have... it's tough, right? Heat versus Furia. Like, if I go Furia, I'll drop one of these guys. It's probably going to be Yakindar because I need an Oper, and I wouldn't want to go for Safe here. If I want to go for the gamble with... I think, in my eyes at least, it's a bit of a gamble with Furia. 174 doesn't get me Grim quite. If I want to go Caserado, I really rate Caserado as a player. That's why I'm looking at maybe picking him. With Yuri, we can 180. So with Yuri we could get. If we go Buster and Caserado, then we can get Grim. I think there's a lot of options here. Which way you wanna take it, or which way you could take it. I'm just thinking, like, is it throwing to not go double, to go for basically Jame and Yakindar? This is a very valid option in my eyes. If I want to go like Furia, that's the only question, right? To me, that's the only question. Do I want to go Furia? Yeah, I mean, VP just haven't played yet this year. Very rarely does Buster have like bad performances, it seems. He's very solid all around. That compares to Keekert, is it like more of a risk? Keekert isn't doing that much better than Buster in general. I think Grim makes sense. Maybe even a bit too much sense. This is a very basic lineup, I guess. Having this, and then... Wait, this is just players from... No, I don't have Keekert, I have Buster instead. It's a very basic lineup if I go for this. I wanna explore options with like Jame and Yakindar though. Also basic, I know, but I don't want to go drop. I don't really rate drop very high. But I mean, this. Maybe it's like, yeah, the most. I mean, this is only 2 maps against, like, maybe he's just fine. Jamie, Kindar, Caserado, Drop, and Freiberg. Or maybe you go Yuri and we can get Davi G. That's the only. I don't think it's better Davi G than Freiberg. Guess we should look at the like third player also in terms of which group they are in. I think the groups are pretty even or like across the board. Should we go for like a noob Freiberg lineup? I mean, this is literally only players from here. I don't have faith in this. I don't think that's the way to go here. I want to have James. I think he's... Let's go like... Who do I really want to have? I really want to have James for this one. I have a feeling about James. Now that I say that, I'm like, maybe I should go Yakinder instead. Maybe I just go both. I think I really want to go both. I go Art and Drop. 184. No, I don't think this is the way either. Art and Yuri, you can't get, no. So maybe I just go Heat instead. Do I have faith in Heat to be better than Fury at this event? So when we look at like Heat's recent results, they have been on an upward trend. I don't know what this is all about. Just that Heat really shouldn't be as good as Furia is right now. I think I'm gonna stick with Furia. Is it better to have Yuri, David? It has to be better to have David G versus Freiberg, basically, right? That's not bad. Who did they play here? In EPL? Link, Sprout. I'm guessing these are mostly EPL. I mean, David G hasn't been like a complete disaster. Leaves 4k in the bank. Hard to find great options if you want to go double VP, double Furia. Buffy is not on my radar at all. I think it's Art and Drop and Exercise. That's not horrible. I actually kind of don't mind this too much. I mean, Drop is inexpensive, and he's almost as inexpensive as Exercise. It's interesting, we guess in like their ratings are like this. Who did I have as options around this price point? I don't know who this is. I wouldn't pick the worst rated guy on the worst team. I wouldn't go Grim over Exercise, I don't think. I don't think that makes sense. I think Exercise is the safe, like better pick. He is just on an upward trend. Yeah, last month 1.04 is a bit better. Let's go with this. How does it work role-wise? So entry, op. Oh yeah, we have kind of 2 entries. I guess you can go headshots, and then IGL, and support. I guess it works pretty well. This is all obvious. So you could go entry, Yakindar, and then something else on art, like CT rating. No. It has to be good enough to go entry on. This has to be better. Then you could do a lot of things on Yakindar. I guess you could go multi. CT rating. Multi is better than CT. Headshot is better than multi. Yeah. Drop should be IGL. And then exercise, probably support, right? Yeah. Did you get it? Oh, okay. I like this lineup, actually. The more I think about it. Expensive guys from VP, so hoping that VP's playstyle allows them to basically farm rating by being these in these roles that are supposed to for them get rating. And then Furia hoping that their team is gonna be more balanced across the board. So we don't have like Kesrado completely carrying them or Safe doing that either. And we have like Art getting entries, Drop just contributing, I guess. And then hoping that Exercise and Heat do good. Like they've been doing good lately, but just aren't quite as strong as Fury in this one. I have to say one of the main things here is that the Heat players were a bit more expensive than like the Furia guys in comparison. Like not really more expensive because Furia players of course were more expensive, but the added price based on your the Heat players ranking right now kind of made a big difference, I feel. Okay, let's go with boosters. So versus 9Z, which should I guess be the easiest opponent for. Yeah, it should be the easiest opponent for VP. Ace is an Art. It's always nice to look at this. So Flash is going to be eventually JMF for sure. 30 bomb not here. Top of scorecard. Yakindar actually a lot more often than Jame. Interesting. I think Jame. Oh yeah. I just remembered. These are opening matches best of one. Winners matches best of one. And we have elimination matches and decider matches are best of 3. So if everything goes to plan, that's how I usually like to think about this then. Everything in playoffs is single elimination. So if both Fury and VP make it to this, they get 2, 4, 6, 8. We get 8 boosters with best of 3 here. I guess this is just, okay, yeah. So it might just be 8 best of 3s. No. Wait, there has to be, Heat has to have, there's at least, yeah, there should be. Okay, so expected result should be something like 9. 9 best of 3s. So there are best of, our players are gonna play 9 best of 3s in total. So we should pick the 9 boosters that I like the most, that are most likely to trigger. Like 2 for the players who are gonna play twice, and 1 for the one gonna play only once. Let's start with exercise. So what's his best booster basically in comparison to the entire field? We have something like standout. That's pretty good for him, for sure. Trade. We want to save trade basically for the situation where he's in a best of 3. Checking that we have nothing better. No. The trade fragger is saved for exercise, and it's gonna be later on. Then we have James. James best are gonna probably be like Saver. Yeah. Not unexpected. This is pretty good clutch for him. Clutch and saver. Clutch, saver, and flash are basically his best ones. Clutch and saver we're gonna have later on, so we can use flash now if we want. So we want to save clutch. I'll just make actually a small note of that. Which ones I want to save for who. With clutch, saver, and trader. Trader as well. So Yakindar, probably top of scorecard. Then we have... Maybe I should explain why I do this. So basically the idea is with boosters, because best of threes have more maps, you have better chances of your booster triggering. So instead of best of one, you're in a best of three and your booster is more likely to trigger. So when there's a best of one stage, you should kind of put boosters that you're kind of just not caring that much about. And in the best of three stage, you should try and have the best odds to have that trigger. I kind of missed that, by the way, in the last groups. Because I didn't understand the format. I didn't understand that fantasy included the next stage. I only thought that this fantasy was for basically the seeding phase of the event. And that's why I used boosters in very stupid positions. But, well, there's nothing you can do about it now. But yeah, Yakindar. Drop has higher... What? No way. What? Why? There's no... I guess because... Keykert is on VP and there's no other headshot guys on Furia, I would assume. Okay, I understand. Wait, what is... Drop also a good pistol player. Okay. It's just good with boosters. That's good to know for later. But okay, top of scorecard is a Yakindar booster as well as... I'll make a note of that, as well as something else, like assist maybe. Probably assist instead of art. Let's take a look at that later. I want to say for drop, there's, yeah, best pistol. Maybe Yakindar actually does best pistol. Let's say that. Drop had something good. KST is good for drop. KST and something. KST and headshots, yeah. And then art with probably bait. Yeah, bait as well as... Bait and assist, I guess, are best for him. Yeah, bait and assist makes sense. So these are basically the ones that I want to save for later. So other ones I can use. I can use bottom of scorecard, choke. All of those are fine to use right now. Let's go art ace. That's fine. We'll use this eventually. James flash makes sense. I don't think I had flash on my list. Yeah, no. So we can go James flash. We did have headshots, right? Yeah. Was bait, yeah. Art has an insane knife percentage. What the hell? We'll do that eventually. I think, yeah, exercise with a pretty high KSD. I think we go for that here. Like, it's not very high, but it's higher than it would have been. Grenade was one of the ones I can use. Let's use grenade here. And then, what can I use? So, Yekindar had pistol. No, Yekindar had, yeah, pistol and top of scorecard for later. So now we'd want to use. Do we want to use anything? Like at least this one, I guess. Then let's go for this one for now, because I want to make sure I have nine boosters that I don't want to use yet. Best pistol. Yeah, I do. So I can only use 4 more boosters. And those are, I guess, choke, clutch, Rambo, and 30 bomb. I think those are the ones. Yeah, those are the ones. I should actually go 30 bomb on art against order instead of grenade. Instead of what did I go for? Ace. Ace comes later. Rambo on art as well. Might have to go ace on someone else. And win. So it should be like winners. We have Rambo on art. Then choke on Jame and yeah, bottom of scorecard actually as well. Exercise bottom of scorecard is later on. Okay, but I think either way, I'm fine with these boosters being used in the best of one stage. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I couldn't make it earlier. Of course, this fantasy got kind of released, I think, yesterday, but I got home today, and then I will make the fantasy for Malta Vibes, as I mentioned, probably pretty close to it releasing. I will be releasing the video, and I always record basically and then release it immediately. But I just want to see if I can get some advantage based on the seeding. Either way, if you enjoyed, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.